The first London trip that I went on was in 1995. So since that time we've had 8 courses that have gone to London over our winter session. For the past several courses we have had the opportunity to run a preparatory course in the fall semester, which we think gives our students a much better, deeper background. At least when they come back from the course, when they come back from London, they talk about how much more they knew than any other place, how much more they knew about London than any other place they had traveled before, and how that enriched the experience. So we feel pretty good about what's come together over the years.
I'm really glad we did the fall component. At first I was a little bit frustrated because obviously you want to go on the trip so badly, the 12 weeks can't get over quick enough, but I think having the 3 different professors, we got to focus on all of the areas of London, the history with Professor Mon, the literature with Professor Shaper, and then the art and the art history with Clausen. And I think that was really great. We had an understanding of it before we even got on the plane, and then when we actually went on the trip, we were able to see things and recognize them.
Taking the actual classroom course part before we went to London itself was extremely beneficial, because if you don't know about something, it doesn't really mean much to you. And so we got all that background information on the history, literature, and art, and so that when we went there, we could see these things, and we knew the background story, and it meant a lot more to us. So I felt like that class content let us all in on a little secret that none of the other tourists knew. So we were in the know.
There are ways of doing these things where you can do a tour just by itself. You know, there are other colleges that offer those sorts of things. But I think that the opportunity to spend an entire term before we go reading extensively, writing a great deal, thinking about place, thinking about one's own place that one comes from, say Caldwell, and then thinking about how one might negotiate the place one's going to, London in this case.
When students come back from their first experience of foreign travel, what they always talk about is how they were unable to visualize clearly the things that they had learned about when they were on campus, that they've had great classes, wonderful experiences, but actually being in the environs of the things that they've learned about, watching people, drinking in the details, the extraordinary newness of very old things, that experience it's almost impossible to describe.
Everybody always asks what was my favorite thing, and it's so hard to pick because there are so many varied aspects of favorite. Of course I love the art. We went into so many incredible museums, and not just art museums, but other artifacts and interesting things. One of my favorite things will probably just be my memories of walking along the streets of London with my companions from the London trip, and those parks and streets with all the architecture, and just those memories that we made.
I think I really enjoy a great deal the sense of confidence that students develop when they're there. You know, initially they're a little bit confused, even if they've been prepped for quite a bit, you know. They're out of there like fish out of water, I suppose you could say. But then they get really very confident very quickly, and they get excited, and they start to recognize things, and they start to discover things. And I guess that, for me, is one of the most enjoyable aspects of the teaching side.
It was great being over there with the professors. They're so much fun, and like you mentioned, at C of I, it's a small enough environment that the teachers really care. And getting to spend that much time over there, you get to know their personalities and their quirks a little more, and you really get to experience that relationship that the professors care about their students.
I spend a lot of time actually listening to students. I don't talk much. I get to talk a lot when I teach. But when I'm with them, I'm just fascinated to hear what they think and listen to what they have to say and listen to their stories, that sort of thing. So it makes for an easy way to get to know them.
So we try not to overprogram so that they have this chance to explore. And for many of them, the most exciting, interesting, memorable things are not the things they planned ahead. They are the things they just fell into, they lucked into. They saw an opportunity and they took it to see a show, to ride a certain bus route, to meet people on the street or in pubs. Those kinds of experiences provide a kind of unexpected fun, interest, connection that the students really, really love.
I am so excited that I decided to do this. I've been planning on it for a while, and I mean, what better way than to cap off your senior year than going abroad and studying in London and seeing the sights and going to Paris and seeing all the sights. It made for an incredible experience.
I think the thing that will stick with me the most is that feeling I had getting on the plane to come home. Like I said, I didn't really know what to expect going on the trip, and Dale, the girl that I've become really good friends with, we were sitting there and just kind of looked at each other like, I can't believe we just did that. And neither of us really realized we needed the trip until it was over, and we had gotten so much out of it. You really feel like you can go take on the world, you know? You don't feel like you're stuck in Idaho or stuck in the Northwest or wherever you feel like you are going to settle down. I felt like I really, in that 1 month, grew up a lot, and I feel like I'm ready to graduate now, where I think if I hadn't, I'd still be in the same spot, scared to graduate and scared to be in the real world.
We've had many students do the London course here at C of I now. I think our alumni for this particular course tops 150 students. And when you talk to alumni 5 years, 10 years out, they almost invariably say this was the best experience they had in college, that they made lifelong friends, often with people who they didn't know very well before the course, that they had an incredible life-changing experience, because in many cases students see things and think about things in ways that they just hadn't even considered possibilities.